The man, who had been asleep for over 100 years, suddenly awakens in a freezing snowfield. He rolls over and falls off the ice bed, and the scars on his body reveal that his identity is far from ordinary. He slowly stands up, and the sacred sword in his hands suddenly emerges. It turns out the man is one of the last druids on the continent, capable of using magic. 1,000 years ago, demons descended upon the land, and most humans were slaughtered. The elves stood up to resist them, and with the power of the sacred tree, they sealed the demon race in a forbidden land, restoring light to the world. Because of their outstanding role in the war, the elves became the most powerful force on the planet. As a druid, Aranon fell into a deep sleep after the battle. Over the centuries, the elves continued to pass down the legend of the sacred tree. Each leaf represents a sealed demon. Every year, they select 10 guardians of the sacred tree, who step forward in turn to touch it and seek its approval. But when the elven princess touches the sacred tree, an unimaginable vision suddenly appears in her mind. She finds herself on a dark battlefield, where demons are slaughtering humans. Terrified, she is haunted by the image even after returning, and eventually draws what she saw, believing it may be a prophecy from the sacred tree. To understand it better, she returns to the tree at night. When she touches it again, another vision appears. This time she sees herself killing her own boyfriend. Horrified, she snaps back to reality. At that moment, her boyfriend also arrives at the sacred tree. Fearing that the vision may come true, she decides to flee the elven kingdom. When he tries to stop her, she knocks him unconscious with the hilt of her sword and escapes into the night without telling anyone. The next morning, the other elf guardians discover that the trunk of the sacred tree has begun to rot, a phenomenon never seen in 1,000 years. At the same moment, Aranon, who has been sleeping in a distant cave, is awakened by the tree's call. He arrives at the elven kingdom and easily knocks away the guards with a single motion. The prince draws his sword to confront the intruder, but when Aranon removes his hood, the king stands up in shock. It turns out they are old friends. The king believed Aranon had died long ago, but now he appears unchanged after all these years. Aranon quickly approaches the sacred tree and senses its condition through touch. He warns the king that the situation is critical. The tree is dying, and the demons it sealed are about to return. He orders the king to gather the elven army to defend the kingdom while he searches for a way to stop the demons. At that moment, the first leaf of the sacred tree slowly falls and turns to ash upon touching the ground. Far away in the forbidden land, the mountains begin to shake violently. The demon king Didimo breaks free from his seal, but the sacred tree has not fully withered and still suppresses him. He summons a formation of massive stones to protect himself, and in order to prevent the elves from finding a way to reseal him, he calls forth one of his subordinates and grants her powerful magic.